normally would make sure this was done before hitting the go live button. But hey, does it matter? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter if we win or if we lose. It just doesn't matter. We are the CITs, so piteous. The kids are brats, the food is hideous. We wanna joke and drink and fool around. We're North Star CITs. I'm Ms. Hypivy. So I got COVID. Finally. So strange. It's strange watching that test. It was, the lateral flow tests that you can get. And I really was not expecting it to be positive. And when, it wasn't even like, they say wait 15 minutes. After like 5 minutes, that second line was pretty freaking bold. And you know how they say, I just put a cough drop in my mouth. I wasn't even thinking. That was stupid. I could spit it out, but I kind of need it. My test line was like, it's like if you had done the control line with a Flair fine tip pen and then the test line with a Sharpie. It was super thick. There was no two ways about interpreting that test. Didn't have to wait 15 minutes. I did anyway. I'll just sit here. There's a cough drop in my mouth. It's a Ricola, which was sent to me by, I got a care package from a friend of mine. Very thoughtful. Also, I slammed my, now this isn't even like, sometimes, you can see this, I got this thing on my nose. Oh wait, you'd probably see it better if I, where's my zoom button? I gotta get this thing right there. Wearing glasses, all kinds of reasons you can get slammed there. Mine was, I'm not yet accustomed to my new phone case / battery. And I was laying down and I picked the thing up to look at something and it literally dropped right on my nose, and it's quite heavy. So anyway, so it's exactly 1 week ago. It was a week and 2 days ago. I live streamed and was talking some smack about what an awesome person, what an amazing person I am. How I dodged the heck out of COVID for so long. The irony being, I'm sure I already had it. Obviously I just didn't know it yet. Didn't feel anything. It was really, I know most people have already had it, so this is novel for me. for a couple of reasons. One being I haven't had a fever in like 2.5 years, more than that. So, almost done. A couple things that were strange. When I saw that I tested positive, I got like a little bit excited, which is not the reaction you're supposed to have, I don't think. But I got a little bit of like a, oh, okay. This, here we go. And it was I don't know how to describe it, right? I mean, it felt like the flu, plus, like, it was a mix of very familiar, although, like I said, I hadn't had a fever in like 2.5 years. So just having a fever was bizarre in and of itself. Fever that did not go away for 4 or 5 days. It was like this, right? And there were all these familiar elements, and I was like, oh, this feels like the flu. But there was also definitely like but this part feels different. And also, like, my trajectory was different. My trajectory was not like feel something, then feel really, really bad, and then slowly feel better. It was feel something, feel really, really bad, feel better, worse, better, worse. So, but on the second day, I was feeling kind of cocky and kind of being like, well, if this course continues, then this was a joke for me personally, right? And then that night, of course, it was very hard to get sleep, right? Just be waking up with a fever every couple of hours. So I was glad when that was over. And I still feel, I tested positive yesterday still. I tested positive while I picked up a couple of tests at the Toys R Us I was at, coughing on all the toys. Damn it, there's no more Toys R Us. That joke doesn't work. I was at Target. I was at Target touching my nose a lot. And touching other things. And being like, hey kid, look at this. That thing looks like it'd be fun to play with. And laughing. I might give that kid COVID. Looks like a dick. Now, I've been isolated, obviously. I mean, I wouldn't be, like, it's not much of a change. So, but yes, I did. I tested positive yesterday, and that's 6 days after I initially tested positive, and I feel okay. In the mornings, I still feel like a little bit weird, but I definitely like that fatigue that they're talking about is real. That's real. Like I'm doing everything. Like I'm hobbling. I haven't exercised. I was doing well. I have not now exercised in a week, and I look at the equipment. I sigh. I touch my stomach. And I sigh. And I go, damn. I was on the right track there for a couple months. I'm going to get back on it. I tried to exert myself today. And it's let me just say it's a little too early for that. Anyway, if you haven't gotten COVID yet, don't. Just don't. Just choose not to. I mean, I'm a few months away from being in a different sort of stratification of risk for that kind of thing. And it's not like I won't get it again. I'm pretty sure I know how I got it. Oops. Pretty sure I know how and where I got it. I'm a little disappointed in myself because I feel like I probably could have not gotten it, but it's just like, it's been a long fucking time. So, whatever. I did a few things while I was laid up that I tricked myself into thinking are somehow productive. But one of those things was watching The Boys from start to finish. I was able to do that. I liked it. I had watched, someone had said, oh, you could do a role play of, I don't even remember the name of the character, but it was a character that was in season 2. It wasn't around very long. He ran the church that the Deep was a part of. I don't remember his name. But he wasn't like even really in it very much, and I don't really think I look like him very much, so don't think I'm gonna do that. But but I did enjoy the show. Yeah, I liked the majority of it. I liked the majority of the characters. Season 3 maybe it was starting to kind of show its age a little bit. Like I really liked Frenchie, and then season 3 came around, and I was just like, now I'm sort of like I'm getting Frenchied out. This Vicks Vapor Rub. Ooh, it's good. The other thing that I did was I worked on music stuff. Specifically, something that I talked about before. Before we get to that, let's see what. Hi Q, hi Samantha, hi Pivy, hi Ms. Yeah, exactly right. Ms. You cannot stop me from licking the bowling balls. Hi Ava. Samantha, how are you doing? Amy. Yeah, so many people got. I know so many people who've gotten COVID in the last couple of weeks, and most of them are people who had not gotten it before. So, and I've seen the sort of the charts of reports of COVID, and it's exponential. It looks like inverse logarithmic. It's pretty nuts. There has to be something about BA5, but I didn't really look into it that much. But I'm glad that people are feeling better. So this is a promise I made to myself not to get another black phone case. All it does is make it difficult to find my phone every time I put it down. Is that the Herogasm episode? I'm assuming. I don't remember what because I didn't even pay attention to the season markers. Although I guess I kind of knew, but I couldn't tell you what happened in the season premiere of any of the seasons. But I'm guessing you're referring to Herogasm. What was bizarre to me about that, or one of the things that was bizarre to me about that show was like, I was convinced I was just gonna hate the Deep the whole time, and I actually started to like feel bad for the Deep. Which I don't know. Really, that's a good thing to admit. I think it was just because he really was so eager about how much he loved fish and sea animals, and just how nobody gave a fuck. And when Homelander made him do an old boy, oh boy, Yes, the shrink and the sneeze. Yes, I I I recall this scene specifically. I specifically showed it to someone and was like, "Oh wait, did that just happen? You got to see this." Um, yeah, that was great. That's a great way to refer to it, is the shrink and the sneeze. Yeah, that was brutal. Um, Hi Maddie, how are you doing? Who's this referring to? Is this referring to me? Yeah, Maddie, please, how are you doing? Maybe that's who Gucci was referring to. I don't know. Wait, homeless? What? Oh, I did see something on Discord. Like there was a fire, and I think you lost like almost everything you owned or something. That's terrible. I was out of it. I think when I was um, seeing that, so I apologize. But man, I was like not. I was not on this earth, dude. That wasn't even Herogasm. that was that was just a stock and trade. That was just a Wednesday night for the boys or for the superhero, the soups. I don't like. I thought that was like I really like Garth Ennis, right? Like I was a fan of the Preacher comic when I was a kid. Those are the kinds of when I was younger. That's the kind of comic that I enjoyed, was things like Hate and some Image comic stuff and Preacher. Um, that's awful, Maddie. That's freaking terrible. Just a kid, yeah. And also as a kid, right? Like, fuck. Oh, was anybody hurt, Maddie? Because 14 years old is young, but it's not that young for like I don't know. I mean I'd have to know the details to know how I feel about. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go, right? Like that's fuck. Hard to it's hard to cast. It's hard. Well, it's hard for me to cast blame in a situation like that. That's when you have to separate like actus rea and mens rea, right? Because I mean, yeah, okay, it's great that nobody got hurt, but somebody pretty easily probably could have gotten hurt. So I don't know. I'm not, I don't have the the brain working properly enough to think about that too much. Hey, Warp Raven, how are you doing? It's a new PFP, Warp Raven. Oh, I like it. That's cool. Oh man, you look mad. I like that profile picture. Um, I'm doing okay. Ah, yeah. Hmm. Must feel weird doing that in schools. Right? Well, I agree that 14-year-olds should not go around setting stuff on fire. But I mean, I wasn't 14. I was younger than 14, but I remember having a fire phase. And it probably could have gone bad. I mean, I would like sneak off with like a friend and we would just like light little fires in fields and stuff. There, actually, I did do, oh man, I guess I can admit to this. Um, this is an accident. Oh man, wow, this is rushing back to me now. Okay, so I was into Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. Duh. And my sister rode horses. I rode horses for a while. I know this is like, oh, la di da, right? Like, my mom stopped me from riding horses because all the other boys who rode horses, she said they were gay, and she thought that I would turn gay if I continued riding horses. So that's why I was not allowed to ride horses anymore. But I would go to the shows that my sister did, etc., and they would be like all day and all evening affairs, and get really bored. And a lot of times they were at this place. There's this place down in Miami called Tropical Park, and I remember like there was a friend of mine who was also basically a brother of somebody whose the sister rode horses, and we knew we were going to be at Tropical Park. I think we were going to be there until like midnight or something. It was like we're going to be there all day and like all night or something. It was some horse show. Tropical Park was big, right? Like it wasn't just like the horse area. There were, lots of sawgrass and mangroves and what were probably retention lakes, but a canal that ran by it, just like everywhere else in suburban southern Miami. And I remember, maybe I read about this somewhere or something, and then I was like, yeah, well, this was, another generation. She was very worried. She was very worried. I was pissed. But regardless, this is a fire story. I must have read this somewhere or something. I don't know how I got this idea in my head, but remember thinking, ooh, what would be neat is, we can go through those jungle areas or those, I don't know, but not jungle, but like foresty areas of Tropical Park, and we can kind of like role play, right? Like and explore, and we can have torches. And what would probably be a cool way to make a torch is take a can of Sterno, jab a stick through it, and you can hold it. And, the can of Sterno is impaled on the stick, and there's your torch. Pretty sure that was my idea, or I thought that would be a good idea. So, me and my friend, who I won't name, but he had a cute name. I want to say his name, but I can't. Me and my friend went, and I probably had like a little wizard's robe on or something, like something awful. It was probably 100 degrees. I don't know. When you're a kid, you're doing that stuff. And I remember the sun had set and it was getting a little dark, and we were like, okay, awesome, let's do this. So we had our torches and we started exploring, not going very far from where the stables were, but we were, in woodland, I guess you'd call it. I mean, I don't know. It was like what do they call it? Like I forget, second level growth. The kind of growth you get in Florida once all the trees have been sort of already burnt to the ground, you get these smaller trees, right? Or the hurricanes have like destroyed everything. You get these smaller trees with wider root systems that don't grow as high, right? And there were a lot of like patches of like sawgrass, and of course it's in Miami, everything, even though it rains a lot, the heat dries stuff out pretty quickly. So we were doing our little exploration, and I look up at my torch and I see that the fire has started to like melt the can, and that the can is like it's falling through. The stick is going through the can because of the intense heat, and it falls off the stick into all of this dry switchgrass or whatever the heck it is. And I tried stepping on it, and it just like splattered everywhere. Like it was like pouring, you know, water on an oil fire, because you have this sterno, which is jelly. It's napalm almost, right? It's petroleum, flammable gasoline and petroleum, whatever they put into sterno. And this like this fire just starts like going out of control. And I remember me and my friend are like, we just start running back to the stable screaming, like, fire, fire. We didn't go, we started a fire. We were just like, fire, there's a fire. And I remember like half a dozen people came out there. I remember this one guy had like back then, what was really cool back then? Were like they were like members only jackets, basically. They had the kind of, elasticated sleeves, and then they were like shiny vinyl almost looking jackets, puffy jackets. This must have been winter, because this guy was wearing a jacket and I was wearing like a robe. So this must have been like a cold day in Miami. So it's probably like 80 degrees. But these jackets that had like Porsche cars on, or different types of cars. You'd have, your Corvette jacket, your Porsche jacket, all this stuff. And I remember this guy had a Porsche jacket, and he took it off and like was putting out the fire with this Porsche jacket. I remember just like watching him, being like, that's gonna ruin that really cool jacket. And it did. Of course it did. They ended up getting like water from the horses and pouring water all over. That thing was probably a minute or two, or maybe a couple of minutes away from just burning out of control and probably killing horses. And who knows what would have happened. I have no idea. That was certainly the most afraid I'd ever been in my life. But they got it out. So, I mean, as far as the actus rea there, right? Like the consequences could have been far different. But I was not 14. If I was 11, maybe not even. Maybe I was like 9. I don't know. I don't know how old I was. I was of an age where I looked at a guy wearing a puffy Porsche jacket, and I thought, man, that's a cool jacket. I want a puffy Porsche jacket. And he burnt it up. Fire I started. Not intentionally. Did not intentionally start that fire. I did intentionally start some small little fires, but not with the intent of like causing damage. It's just like, let's light this fire in the middle of this field and see what happens. But if I had existed in California in a different time, I mean, who knows, man? Like, I think about the shit that I used to say at school, and I think, man, yeah, if I had, but that, a lot of people were like that. Like, shit was different. Like, it's not. I don't think it's gonna be. I think you have to take into account the context of the time for what's allowable. Like it was not considered like a serious threat back then. If you were like, I'm gonna bring a Molotov cocktail to school, and I'm gonna, burn the whole place down. Like it was like everyone was just like, yeah, okay, fucking nerd. Knows how to make a Molotov cocktail? You're a fucking nerd. Get the fuck out of here. So, different times. That was a tangent. But this is what I'm saying is, right, I don't know. It seems like the motives for some of these things could be all it takes is one stupid act, right? Like some thoughtless act from a kid who doesn't even know what the consequences. I'm not excusing this 14-year-old because I think 14 you're fairly developed. I mean, you should probably know right from wrong, but I don't know. This kid is mentally sick. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, but I feel bad. And I'm sorry that happened to you, Maddie. That sucks. So why did I decide to go? Really, the reason I decided, I didn't mean to talk much at all, really. I didn't think I would have the energy for it. But one of the other things that I've been doing in this time, excuse me for a minute here. I gotta. During this time off is working on some music stuff, and really just working on like, it's the same. I've been working on the same thing, and I thought it might be interesting to go into like how it started and how it's developed. Maybe it won't be interesting. I don't know, but this is what my plan was for tonight anyway. That's why I have this camera. It's a wider shot. See my "Don't Tread on Me" flag in the back. And that's why I have this, which y'all can say whatever you want about me not being a good player, but I will not hear a word about this guitar. I love this guitar more every day. So now I feel like I gotta warm up, right? Fingernail to grow more. Because my fingernails are kind of thin, and so what happens is like playing files them down. So I have trouble getting them. I'm gonna get those gels that you kind of paint on. They look silly, but so I'm gonna get to what I need. Anyway. always feel like I gotta play soft. I can't hit the way I want to hit, which is annoying. Anyway, the thing that I was working on, something just came from this, from excuse me. I can't even get the melody right. And trying to come up with something that would work for that, and then basically like just kind of starting with that waltz, and different parts for it, and ways to incorporate that melody. So oh yeah, and then this part kind of popped up into my head. And whenever I'm like, it reminds me of the way I go on kind of conversational tangents is, let's see, do I have this mic on so I can bring this mic back up and then just turn you up a bit. Let's see if that works. So then you should have mic on, it's guitar on a slightly different mic. Maybe it doesn't sound quite as good because it's under the table, but whatever. So I go on these tangents, and then try to bring everything back together, or record a couple of tracks. So maybe while one guitar's going, the other one's going. And then just trying to come up with flourishes, right? So like. Oh, that was bad. And then have that go back into the. So it's all about like trying. I don't know how to. I've never, I've played in a metal band and then in a progressive band. Most of the music that I've written in my life, it's always been riff based. Very little of it has been like with the exception of. Most 80-90% of any music that I write tends to be riff based. And so that's where I was going with this. I don't know how to play Happy Birthday. Happy Birthday, Miss, though. I have no idea how to play Happy Birthday. So it's all riff based, right? So again, trying to go back to that. So it's in 3/4. Just like a waltz. So one line doing that, and then going into the with one guitar maybe going. At some point doing the. So I had that part, and then eventually going into the. With maybe one of the other guitars going. As sort of a counterpoint to that. Maybe panned left and right hard, maybe panned like 75, maybe 4 or 5 guitars. So many, like I've tried recording this a bunch of different times, and part of the problem is, and this is a part I want to throw in, which is, it's just arpeggios, but I want to put this in there. I want to at the end, I want something that goes. Like to a major key there. I guess and then have like a dun, 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 like a. Or something like that, right? Like that. Or I could do like a half-time switch. Ooh, I like that. Something like that. But then I'm wrestling with, like, do I record it to a click? Because it feels better if I'm going like. slowing down and speeding up, and just playing free time. But then that limits me sonically with adding other stuff on top of it. But I don't want it to just be like. I mean, those arpeggios would sound horrible if they were clicked. Those have to flow. Or something like that. Not like that, but you know what I mean. Like, they can't just be. And then, yeah. Anyway, that's where it's going. But that's what I keep messing around with the. And then adding riffs to it, and then parts that I'm hoping like they'll interconnect, like in some interesting way. I've already this works pretty well. The wait. That works well with the. Especially if I fade in and out, right? Like it's not just like it's more like, and then this part gets loud. So, it's kind of like trading off the quiet spots when this is going space there, space there, space there, space there, space there, space there, space there. So like this other part, that's in that first space, and then this is just other space. Those loud parts kind of get loud when the other piece gets soft, so it gives this kind of like main melody over here, and then this other part over here is filling in this. But I don't want it to just be like layers of sound, right? Like there should be a part that's just. Nothing fucking with it, you know? Maybe. Just that. Or just. And then I always, whenever I'm doing this, I'm like, I'm stealing this from something. I don't know what I'm stealing it from, but I got the feeling that I'm stealing this from something. Oh, by the way, Q, yeah, sorry, I just saw this. I'm sorry about this. I saw, excuse me. I saw that this was canceled. I didn't know why. Canceled, like rescheduled, or I'd be curious. I don't know how comfortable you are sharing. Why am I'm obsessed with this piece. You know, something I've noticed is that, like, oh, it's a bummer cue. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, sorry, sometimes I get carried away playing the same things over and over again. But, you know, the more pieces that you learn, right? Lexi, that reminded you of Roundabout by Yes? Probably because that was Mood for a Day by Yes, also on the same album as Roundabout. So, that intro, I think, it's like the 7th song on Fragile. That's Steve Howe. It's all Steve Howe. What was I going on about? Oh, every time, like, so you know, I'm learning that Tango and Sky piece, which I still don't have down. Like, I play it all the time, and I still don't. Um, one thing I noticed is that like there are definitely like a lot of pieces being used as TikTok tracks that I'm hearing. Like I'm playing like I'll play that around my daughter, and she recognizes it. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's from a TikTok." I was like, "Oh, okay. It's also a song, not just from a TikTok." But I noticed that also happened with Roundabout. Maddie, I hope that things are on the up and up for you. I mean, you can't get your shit back, man. That's rough. I don't know what I would do, but I hope that you're holding it together and manage to have a good night. There's a point like a year or two ago. Oh, is this JoJo, Lexi? See, I don't know, man. Like I don't keep up with that stuff, so I have no idea. I just know, and now, God forbid, hey, guess what? Oh shit, you know what I could do? I don't know if this is gonna work. This is a terrible idea. This is probably not going to work. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens here. What happens if I load up Ableton? Can I get the output of Ableton? Excuse me for 1 second. I'll be right back. I don't think this is gonna work. Like 90% sure that it shan't. Maybe it will. Sometimes I'm surprised when I do things that should work. They don't work. And when I do things that I'm like, man, this ain't gonna work. Fucking works. Whoa, shit. Well, that was not an auspicious beginning. I've had this guitar since I was, probably since shortly after I started that fire. I want to say I was like 14 or something. This guitar is very, very old. A single piece of wood. It has been through a lot of stuff. And I can't believe that it still works. Ooh, man. It is like, whoopsie. It is ready to feed back. That's for sure. Yeah. It really wants to feed back. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, hold on. Can I get the input here to recognize? I am plugging my guitar into my digital audio workstation, which is routed through Ableton, and then trying to get that signal back into Ecamm. But doesn't seem like that's quite possible. Whoa, my voice is distorted? That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It ain't working. Okay. I won't do it. But yes, I was gonna do the... But I can't do it. I guess I can just do it on an acoustic guitar. Who needs it? Who needs an electric guitar to play Master of Puppets? If you need an electric guitar to play Master of Puppets, then maybe you need to re-examine your life. Oh gosh. Okay, that part's it is a little hard to play on acoustic guitar. A little hard on the hands. I could play the interlude. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool that that song was in the Spotify top 10 last week or something. Nuts. The thing is 35 years old. What was it, 1986? I mean, what the balls? Yeah, it's getting close to 40 years old. It's about time Metallica got some recognition, you know? Oops. You know, they've been playing garages for so long. Someone had to save them from obscurity. Whew. 2112 by Rush. I can play Farewell to Kings, is it? Something like that. It's not a whole lot of the trees. La Via Strangiato. Yeah, this happens. Happened in Spinal Tap. Wasn't it, though? Seriously. I mean, look. If you have not watched, excuse me, if you have not watched any of the recent, and by recent I mean within the last 2 years, live performances that Metallica has been posting, it's amazing. They are better. They're definitely better now than they were 15 years ago. I don't know how. Part of me wonders how much of that is advances in in stage gear and technology that allows them to sound so precise still. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke to watch Lars play drums. That is I look at that and I'm like, you know what Lars was really good at was thinking of accentuating beats and arranging and splicing all that shit up in the studio. It's not really a live drummer. Like, it's occasionally painful to watch. Well, I had a Metallica phase. Master of Puppet. Well, it really was Justice for All was the album. Good night, Warp Raven. Thanks, Livy. Yes, I am feeling a little better. And thank you, Amogus. Amogus. Amogus? Amogus is Amogus. So Justice for All, that was the tour that I saw, like the first Metallica tour that I saw. Got a drumstick. Queensryche opened for them, and it was just like not like I mean, Metallica was just a beast back then. And then when the Black Album came out, like that's when they lost me. The Black Album, like, to me, there's just such a huge difference between the sort of almost like bluesy rock of the Black Album that just did not resonate with me. I liked the progressive time shifts with the super, super scooped guitar sound, the Fleming Rasmussen, and they went and got all Bob rocked on me, and I left, and I did not return for a long. In fact, like, I was embarrassed by my metal roots for many, many years. I'm not anymore, but for years I was, especially like the late 90s, early aughts. I did not want to admit that. It was, but now I'm like, there's new metal that not new metal, but new metal. Well, I know there's a lot of Beaky Buzzard picks, but surely that's one of them. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I'm not gonna stop sniffing the vapor rub. It's good. It's good for me. I want to eat it. There was a time. Yeah, there was a time I was ashamed of my metal roots, but not anymore. In fact, like, the more I listen to Leprous now, the more I'm just like fucking blown away by them. Like, it takes a while. It still is like taking me a while to get over the vocals. Like, I'm just not into operatic vocals. Like, it makes me cringe. But he's just so good, and their music is just crazy, crazy good. Um, they have an album. I mean, every album is good, but like the Congregation, Herculean, there's a song called Silhouette and a song called Midnight Skies, where like Midnight Skies, if you can just like get past the singing, like the music is just so phenomenal. Like they're so at the peak of what they're doing as like a group. You know, they just like their drummer. They got their drummer Bard Kolstad. I guess they found him because he would just play drums in the street and post YouTube. People would post YouTube videos of him because he was just be doing incredible things like in the streets of Norway, wherever in Norway he lived. And you know, a lot of times that doesn't work in a group setting. It just doesn't. But he just does the most amazing stuff. I mean, he will be playing insane, like the dynamics are insane. And he'll be playing just like, you know, flams and ghost notes and paradiddles and all this kind of crazy stuff, like softly, but in a way that really actually works, like even for like these gentle passages. It's he's incredible. And then they have like this sub bass thing that they're always doing. Just like listen to Midnight Disguise by Leprous. Ignore the vocals. I mean, I actually think, you know, the vocals are I guess they're good now, but like I don't want anyone hearing that I'm listening to them. Like it's just so over the top. Right? Like, but man, I can't deny that what they're doing is amazing. Anyway, so I just wanted to check in with everybody. It's been a little bit. I was bored Friday night. Felt, you know, up for it. I'm definitely feeling like I'm talking too much. Like I can feel the fatigue from talking. Well, Whitesnake. What era Whitesnake are you talking, Ms.? Because, you know, Steve Vai was in Whitesnake. David Coverdale, I mean, he's basically, he's basically like a Robert Plant. If Robert Plant had joined like another, not, I don't know. I mean, he sounds a lot like Robert Plant. His styling is a lot like Robert Plant. I'm not even really a big Robert Plant fan, to be honest with you. But there again, not unlike Leprous, like I will listen to Led Zeppelin and think that they're incredible, but it's not because of Robert Plant. It's almost in spite of Robert Plant, if I'm being honest. Can I be honest? Can I do that? Thank you, Q. Thank you. I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm sorry you had it like worse. You know, like this is Yes, I have. I have heard of and heard them. Yeah, and Opeth. Give me. It's hard for me to get into bands initially, and then once I do, I'm just like, all of it. Give me all of it. But I will, if you're, I've heard them, but you know, I have not done a deep dive or anything, so I will check them out. But I am all 15 of you. YouTube Midnight Disguise. But let me do it right now. I'm going to set you all on the right path here. Let's make sure we get the right. Which apparently this song was like written by committee. Like they live streamed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Nighttime Disguise, not Midnight Disguise. Sorry. Apparently this was written by committee. Like they live streamed their week in the studio and left like certain decisions up to the live stream polls. Let's see. I actually haven't seen the video. Here's the video. Oops. Yeah, Midnight Skies or the Sky is Red. Sky is Red. The vocals are better. Yeah, it's hard to get past his singing. And some of it I really like. I'm sorry. Now I'm just watching Nighttime Skies. I've never seen the video. My body in my mind. Body in the mind. Synchronized. 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 Here comes. Yeah. Don't love that part. But then there's like this beautiful piano part in the middle. It's just all over the place. This video has to be a joke because it's when it's cutting to him singing these incredibly, like belting out these lines, he's just kind of like going, like barely, like, look, it's no effort whatsoever, which must be a bit of a joke. I didn't say that I wasn't drunk. Okay. I'm going to go to sleep. Thank you all for dropping by. And I'll see you all soon, hopefully. Take care.